This is a tutorial on how to use the AD&D framework that I've written that runs under Maptools. On our screen you can see two tokens. One's an NPC and one's a PC. Both have been initialized already. If you are a DM and want to know how to initialize and use all these other macros down here, watch the DM version of the tutorial. So we'll select Blackfoot, and if you look down there, you can see his AC is 10, his hit point 6, attack level 20, move 12, max hit point 6, action none. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on edit. While we have him selected down here, we'll go into the selection window and hit edit. And you can see some general stats and abilities, not abilities, general information that the PC will need to know. This information is not used by the framework, but it's stuff there for the player to keep track of information he needs to. Stats are the ability scores and their adjustments. You'll notice I haven't done those. And I'll go ahead and plug in some values I think are correct. And so you can see how the dexterity one will adjust. The only two that really matter are strengths to hit and damage, and dexterity's AC adjustment. Also, each dex, con, and whiz have a save adjustment, and that value is used when you roll a save. You'll have the option to include that. Combat, the armor details section, you really don't need to adjust any of this. Anything below armor worn is auto input by the equipment system. If your natural armor is not 10, you can adjust that. Here's where you adjust the rest of these values. Racial weapon bonus, other weapon bonus. These two options are used for things like elven bonus with long swords and long bows. You put these values here, and then when you add that weapon to your list of attacks, you would tell it to utilize the racial weapon bonus, and then it would include the +1 that you would add here. And if you have some other feature, you can put that in there and do the same thing with that. Saves, that's pretty obvious. Set your save values. This is where you'd set how many spells per level you get depending on what type. Arcane is magic user and divine is clerics. And we're going to go ahead and set this to 1 because we're going to want to cast spells in a bit. If you don't have that set and you open up the character sheet, it's going to say you need to go get training. This is the window they're talking about. XP, this is where the player can keep track of how much XP they have. Right now the framework doesn't do anything with these values. This is strictly for the player. This value right here lets you hide your initiative, attack, save, and ability checks from other players. For whatever reason, if you needed that, you can toggle that on. When you're done, click OK. And now we're going to go to the character sheet. Click Sheet. You can see it's a nice little character sheet. I'll move it over. You can see the personal information here, ability scores here. If you want to do a strength check, you would just click on strength, the blue little 12 here, and it pops up, says you're doing an ability test for strength. Check modifier. Let's say it's a difficult one, so we're trying to climb something that's really high, and we're carrying a lot of weight, so we got -2. Hit OK, and then it'll pop up with this little window, or this box in the chat box. It tells you you're doing ability check versus strength. Target was 10, you rolled a 1, awesome, and you made it by 9. And you could do that with all the rest of them. These other information you can mouse over and get some extra details on some of these. And then we're going to equipment. We have none, so we're going to add some. We'll click the add down here. And the first thing we'll do is we'll add a backpack. And you see it'll pop up over there. And now we want to add boots. And we're going to carry those because we're wearing them. We'll add a cloak. We're carrying it. And let's see, where's robe? Robe. Now we're wearing a robe because we're a wizard. We want to buy some dry rations. And we're going to need 7 days worth, so we click on 7. And we're going to put that in the backpack instead of carrying it. And then you can see over here, it's now underneath the backpack, and it shows that it's in there. We'll get some silk rope, and we're going to put that backpack. And let's get some water skin. 7 days of that too. 7 days of water, backpack. Then you can see what we're carrying in our backpack. what we carry, and then it calculates all the weight for you. If you wanted to have armor, we'd go over here and click on something. I'm going to add bracers because he's a caster. And it's going to be carried because we want the AC to be calculated into our armor class. And you could do the same thing with chain metal shield. And now that we've got all this, we're going to go to proficiencies. And we don't have any, so let's add these proficiencies up here, non-weapon proficiencies. We'll add something simple. We'll add brewing. And what's it based on? And it says intelligence with no base modifier. Click OK. And it's there. You got a check button. You can click to check it. And do blacksmithing. There you go. Now you got two. You can see. You can just click on check. Tells you what it's against, what your target is. Click OK. And now we want to add weapon proficiencies. We'll close this one down. Click add. And we have no weapons. But we're going to add a quarterstaff. And since we don't have any, we're not specialized with it, so we wouldn't get +1, +2, or if you were double specialized from one, that'd be +3, +3 right in this section. But we're a wizard, we don't have bonuses. We'll click OK. I'm going to go back to equipment, and I'm going to add a quarterstaff. We did not do that. Weapon, quarterstaff, where is it? There. And we're going to have it carried. And now go back to proficiencies. Alright, and we have no skills, but we'll add one. We'll just say he's got some innate ability to climb walls, just so you can see what it looks like. And base chance 5%, and you can add armor adjustments, racial, dex, and other. And these will be calculated into the total. You can see across here, there's the total. If you mouse over the total, you can click on it, and it'll do a check if you want. And now we've got these filled in as good as we want for now. We'll go to combat. And this is where you can see your hit points and your DACO values. This little 6 here that has a link, you can click on it and you can adjust your health. Say you -3 health, you lost 3 health, your bar adjusts, and your number here adjusts. Click on it again, you can add 3 to it, and it goes back to 6. These saving throws are listed here, what you have. You can click on these values over here to do a save versus spells. And this is where you can automatically include a save adjustment for whatever ability score if you have any, but default is none. Add modifiers. Click OK, and he failed. Target was 19, he rolled a 10. This is where it tells you what your AC is. He's wearing those bracers of AC 5, you can see. Reduces it by 5. Dexterity adjustment -2. And his final AC is 3. But we have no attacks here, so we want to add some. And select a weapon in inventory to use with this attack. So we have a quarterstaff. You can see speed factor does all the damage. And then this is where we can associate this weapon with a proficiency, so that it automatically includes any adjustments for better or worse right there. This is also where you'd include racial bonuses for like if you were using the longbow, longsword with an elf, you'd toggle that on, but I don't have that. You can also include strength bonus to hit and damage. He doesn't have strength bonuses, but we're going to add him there in case he gets it later. And you can see +0, +0, because he has no adjustments. But these would automatically be calculated upwards if you had strength or proficiency bonuses. And if you mouse over them, it tells you what those values are. And you can edit it if you want to make changes later by clicking on that. Change it. If you want to attack with it, you simply click on the weapon. Add your situational modifiers. Click OK. I rolled a 4. I completely missed because it hit AC 16. Anyway, and you can see what the details are. If you mouse over the question mark, it'll break down how it got to all those values. You can see mouse over those, and it tells you how it got to that specific value. And then we got spells. You can see here we have 1 first level spell, but we have nothing learned or memorized. So we have to learn something. Click on learn. And you look there, and nothing is clickable. You can't click any of those. That's because it says right here, spells must exist in spellbook carried to learn. So we need a spellbook. So we go back to equipment, and we add, go to books and scrolls, add a spellbook, and we're going to throw it in a backpack too. And now that we've got it there, we need to put something in it. And you click on the read link for the book, and we want to scribe some spells to our book. And you'll pick your first level spells. And we're on Arcane. We can go to Divine, but we're doing spells for a wizard, so we will select some spells. We'll do Identify, and click on Magic Missile, click on, let's see, Read Magic, and click on Detect Magic, and that's a good enough start for now. And then once we're done there, we can close that up, and we go back to spells, and let's see if it'll let us learn anything. And then you can see they're highlighted, and they're clickable. So we're going to learn these. These aren't memorized, these are learned. And as you can see, as I'm clicking them, they show up over here in the character sheet in the known window with memorized links and forget links. So once we've done all that, we can close this up, and we can click memorize whichever ones we want. Right now, the framework does not restrict how many times you can memorize Magic Missile. This list up here showing you how many spells you have for that level is what I'm assuming the player will know he can only memorize one first level spell, and so it says the number is 1. But you can memorize more than 1. There's no restriction right now. I may change that later. But as you can see, I just memorized it 4 times. It puts in a text. When you click cast, it says such and such cast Magic Missile. You click on it, and you can see the details. And you can mouse over, you can mouse over these, and it'll give you a breakdown of the spells. So you can kind of have an idea of what they do. You can also do the same thing with scrolls. Buy a scroll, or not buy a scroll, put a scroll in your inventory. And see, I'm adding another one with the same name, so it changed the name automatically, so don't collide. You can't have the same name of an object that you're putting in your inventory. It's got to change it. So now I have 2 scrolls. First one's going to be a Divine Scroll. And it's going to have Cure Light Wounds. Oh, yeah, that's right. And now we're going to have another Divine spell. We'll have Command. And if you want to change how many is there, you click on that spell, and you can say there's 3 of those in there, and 1. Click on Command. We'll say there's two of those, and you can see there. And so once you have them in your book, you're adventuring along, and you want to cast whatever's in that particular scroll. You read it, and click Cast, and then it says you've recited that spell down here. And I don't like the way it's done. Put this over here instead. Now that's much better. Now you can see in the middle window. And then we can go to our next scroll, add some arcane spells in it. We'll say it's got Alarm and Unseen Servant, and we'll say it has 3 Unseen Servants, and well, say it's got 21 alarms for whatever crazy reason. And you can do the same thing, just click cast, and that tells everybody you've cast it, and it reduces the number that you have in the book. You can also see we have uses for dry rations, uses for water skins. You can also get uses for ammo, darts, and also torches have uses. So you can use a torch, and it keeps track of how many you have. But you just simply click on the number, and it uses one up, and it says in text that you've used it. And same thing with the water skins. And that should cover the basics for how to use the character sheet for a player's token. If you have any questions, leave comments below.